Yes. Base of the temple's mouth. We mimic her, pressing our noses to the stone as the throat opens, and out waddles a withered old man, beard white, eyes violet and milky with age. "You are mad," he howls. "Mad as crows to travel the stairs on the eve of winter." His staff thumps each individual step in his descent, voice squeezing the lines for all their worth. "Bone and frozen blood is all that should remain. Have you come to request a trial of the stains?" "No," I rumble in my best Nagar. "To take the trial of the stains now would do nothing for us. We would only see the gods when we received the facial tattoos. And surviving a test of the stained is something even Ragnar thought I was not prepared for. There's only one other way to bring the gods to me. Hate." "No?" the violet says, confused. "We come to seek an audience with the gods." At any moment, one of the Valkyrie could give us up. All it would take is a word. The tension works its way through my shoulders. Only thing that keeps me sane is knowing Mustang's on board enough with the plan to be bent on a knee beside me at the top of this damn mountain. That has to mean I'm not totally insane. At least I hope. "So you are mad," the violet says, growing bored of us. "The gods come and go, to the abyss, to the sea down below, but they give no audience to mortal men. For what is time to creatures such as them? Only the stained are worth our love. Only the stained can bear the fever of their sight. Only the children of ice and darkest night." Well, this is bloody damn annoying. "The ship of iron and star has fallen from the abyss," I say. "It came with a tail of fire, and struck among the peaks near the Valkyrie spires, burning across the sky like blood." "A ship?" the violet asks, now utterly interested, as we supposed he would be. "One of iron and star," I say. "How do you know? It was no vision?" the violet asks cleverly. "We touched the iron with our own hands." The violet is silent, mind sprinting to and fro behind those manic eyes. I'm wagering he knows that their communication systems are down, that his masters will be eager to hear of a fallen ship. The last sight he might have seen was my speech before Quicksilver shut everything down. Now this lowly violet, this eager actor, banished to the waste to perform a mummer's farce for barbaric simpletons, as news his masters don't. He has a prize, and his eyes, when he realizes this, narrow greedily. Now is his time to seize initiative and gain favor in the eyes of the masters. How sad, the dependability of greed to make men fools. "Have you evidence?" he asks eagerly. "Any man may say he has seen a ship of the gods fall." Hesitating, fearful of the deception I work, but disdainful of priests, Sephi produces my razor from her bag. It is wrapped in sealskin. She lays it on the ground in whip form. The violet smiles, so very pleased. He tries to snatch it up from the ground with a rag from his pocket, but Sephi pulls it back with the seal cloth. "This is for the gods," I growl, "not their whelps." Chapter 33. Gods and Men. The priest ushers us through the temple's mouth, where we wait kneeling on a black stone antechamber inside the mountain. The stone mouth grinds closed behind us. Flames dance in the center of the room, leaping up in a pillar of fire to the onyx ceiling. Acolytes wander through the cavernous temple, chanting softly, draped with black sackcloth hoods. Children of the ice. A divine voice finally whispers from the darkness. The synthesizer, like the ones in our demon helms, layers the voice so it seems a dozen sewn together. The invisible gold woman doesn't even bother to use an accent. Fluent as I in their language, but disdainful of the fact and of the people to which she speaks. You come with news? I do, Sunborn. Tell us of the ship you saw. Another voice said, this one a man, less lofty, more playful. You may look upon my face, little child. Remaining on our knees, we glance up furtively from the ground to see two armored ghosts deactivating their ghost cocks. They stand close to us in the dark room. The temple flames dance over their metallic targets. The man wears a cloak. The woman likely didn't have time to don hers, so eager were they to attend us. The woman plays Freya, while the man is dressed as Loki. His metal visage, like that of a wolf. Animal beasts metal men, but those who kill enough can feel the vibrations in that particular silence. I feel no marvelous saying. The gods are true, she said. Ragnar was wrong. We were wrong. But she says nothing. It bagged fire across the sky. I murmured, head down, making great roars, and crashed upon the mountainside. You don't say. Loki murmurs. And is it in one piece, or lots of little itty-bitty pieces, child? It is risky saying we saw a ship fall, but I knew no other ruse that would draw the gulls away from their holoscreens in the middle of a rebellion, past their security systems and grey garrison to meet me here. They have peerless sky, trapped here on the frontier as their world shifts beyond these walls. Once this post would have been considered glamorous, but now it's a form of banishment. I wonder about what crimes or failures brought these peerless guardians to babysit the wastes. The bones of the ship litter the mountains, Sunborn, I explained, looking back at the ground so they do not insist I take away the riding mask that covers my face. The more groveling I do, the less curious I am. Broken like a fishing boat, laid upon mid-stern by a breaker, splinters of iron, splinters of men upon the snow. I think that's a metaphor the Obsidians would use. It passes muster. Splinters of men? Loki asked. Yes, men, but with soft faces, like seal skin in firelight. So many metaphors. But eyes like hot coals. I can't stop. How else did Ragnar speak? Hair like the gold of your face. The gold's metal masks remain impassive, communicating to one another over the comms in their helmets. Our priest claims you have a weapon of the gods, Freya says leadingly. Sephi produces the sealed cloth once more, body tense, wondering when I will dispel the magic of the gods as I promised. Her hands tremble. Both golds move closer, the slight ripple of pulse shields evident. I touch them and I fry. They have no fear, not here on their mountain. Closer. Closer, you dumb bastards. Why did you not take this to the leader of your tribe? Loki asks. Or to your shaman? Freya adds suspiciously. The way of Staines is long and hard. To climb all this way just to bring this to us. We are wanderers, Mustang says, as Freya bends to look at the blade. No tribe, no shaman. Are you, little one? Loki asks above Sephi, voice hardening. Then why are there blue tattoos of the Valkyrie on the ankles of that one? His hand drifts to the razor on his hip. She was cast out from her tribe, I say, for breaking an oath. Is it marked with a house sigil? Loki asks Freya. She reaches for the weapon's hilt in front of me, when Mustang laughs bitterly, drawing her attention. On the handle, my good lady, Mustang says in Orient lingo, remaining on her knees as she strips off her mask and tosses it onto the ground. You will find a Pegasus in flight. Sigil of the House Andromedus. Augustus? Loki sputters, knowing Mustang's face. I used their surprise and slipped forward. By the time they turned back to me, I've snatched the razor out from under Freya's hand and activated the toggle, so it is the curved question mark shape that has burned on hillsides, been cut into foreheads, and killed so many of their kind. The same they would have seen on the holo displays, as I made my speech. Reaper, Freya manages, pulling up her pulse fist. I hack her arm off at the shoulder, then her head at the jaw before hurling my razor straight into Loki's chest. The blade slows as it hits his pulse shield, frozen in midair for half a second as the shield resists. Finally, the blade slips through, but it's slow, and the armor beneath holds. It embeds itself in the pulse armor plate, harmless, until Mustang steps forward and swivel kicks the hilt of the razor. The blade punches through the armor and impales Loki. Both gods fall. Freya to her back, Loki to his knees. Mask off! Mustang barks as Loki's hands wrap around the blade sticking from his chest. She slaps his hand away from his datapad. No comms! Holiday strips the razor from the man's hip as his pulse shield shorts him. I take Freya's razor from her corpse. Do it! Sephi and her Valkyrie stare wide-eyed from their knees at the blood pooling beneath Freya. I remove Freya's helmet from her head to reveal the mangled face of a middle-aged, peerless, scarred woman with dark skin and almond-shaped eyes. Does this look like a god to you, Sephi? I ask. Mustang snorts a dark little laugh when Loki removes his mask. Darrow, look who it is. Proctor Mercury. The pudgy, cherub-faced, peerless Scard who endeavored to recruit me into his own house at the Institute before Fitchner stole me away. When last we saw each other 5 years ago, he tried to duel me in the halls as my howler stormed Olympus. I shot him in the chest with a pulse fit. He smiled all the while. He's not smiling now as he stares at the metal in his chest. I feel a pang of pity. Proctor Mercury, I say. You have to be the least lucky gold I've ever met. 2 mountains lost to a red. Reaper! You have to be shitting me. He shudders in pain and laughs at his own surprise. But you're on Phobos. Negative, my good one. That'd be my diminutive psychotic accomplice. Gory damn it! Gory damn it! He looks at the blade in his chest, grunting as he sits on his haunches and wheezes out breaths. How did we not see you? Quicksilver hacked your system, I say. You're here for... His voice trails away as he looks at the Valkyrie rising to gather around the dead god. Sephi bends over Freya. The pale warrior traces her fingers over the woman's face as Holiday strips off her armor. For them, I say. Bloody damn right I am. Oh, gory hell. Augustus, our old proctor says, turning to Mustang with a bitter laugh. You can't do this. It's madness. They're monsters. You can't let them out. Do you know know what will happen. Don't open Pandora's box. If they are monsters, we should ask ourselves who made them that way. Mustang says in the Obsidian tongue, so Sephi can understand. Now, what are the codes to Asgard's armory? He spits. You'll have to ask nicer than that, traitor. Mustang is deadly cold. Treason is a matter of the date, Proctor. Must I ask again? Or must I begin trimming your ears? Beside Freya's body, Sephi dips her finger into the blood and tastes it. Just blood, I say, crouching beside her. Not ichor, not divine, human. I hold out Freya's razor for her to take. She flinches at the idea, but forces herself to wrap her fingers around the hilt, hand trembling, expecting to be struck by lightning or electrocuted like men are who touch pulse shields with bare hands. This button here retracts the whip. This one controls the shape. She cradles the weapon reverently and looks up at me, furious eyes asking which shape she should conjure. I nod to mine, trying to build kinship with her. And I do, if only in this martial way. Slowly, her razor takes the shape of the sling blade. The skin on my arm prickles as the Valkyrie laugh to one another. Vibrating with excitement, they pull their own axes and long knives and look at me and Mustang. There's 5 gods left, Mustang says. How'd you ladies like to meet them? Chapter 30. God Killers. We drag the bodies of 7 gods, 2 dead and 5 captured, behind us. I wear the armor of Odin, Sephi the armor of Tyr, Mustang the armor of Frey, all of which we pillaged from the armory on Asgard. Blood smears the stone of them. Feet slide and stumble as Sephi jerks one of the living girls behind us by his hair. Her Valkyrie dragged the rest. We returned to the spires on a shuttle stolen from Asgard, which we slipped through silently, using Loki's codes to access the armory and drape ourselves in the panoply of war before seeking the remaining gods out. 2 we found in Asgard's mainframe, leading a team of Greens attempting to purge Quicksilver's hackers from their system. Sephi, with her new razor, claimed the arm of one and beat the other unconscious, terrifying the Greens, 2 of which held up fists to me as silent acknowledgement of their sympathy for the Rising. With their help, we locked the others in a storage room, as the 2 Green sympathizers connected me directly with Quicksilver's operation room. We didn't reach Quicksilver himself, but Victor relayed news that Severo's camp worked. A little more than a third of the Martian defense fleet is under control of the Sons of Ares and Quicksilver's Blues. Thousands of the Society's best troops are trapped on Phobos, but the Jackal is hitting back hard, taking personal command of the remaining ships and recalling forces from the Kuiper Belt to reinforce his depleted fleet. The rest of the golds we located through the station's biometric sensor map in the lower levels. One practicing with her razor in the training rooms. She saw my face and dropped her blade in surrender. Reputation is a fine thing sometimes. The remaining 2 golds we found in the monitoring bays, shifting back and forth between the cameras. They'd only just discovered that the footage was archival from 3 years before. Now, all our gold captives wear magnetic handcuffs and are tied together by long pieces of rope from Sephi's griffin. All gagged, all glancing around at the spires, like we've dragged them into the mouth of hell itself. Obsidians of the spires flock to us in the halls, rushing from the deeper levels to see the strange sight. Most would only have seen their gods from a distance, as flashes of gold, streaking over the spring snow at Marley. Now we come among them, our pulse shields distorting the air, our shuttle's pulse cannons melting open the huge iron doors which closed off the Griffin hangar from the cold. The doors melt inward, like the door on the Pax building when Ragnar offered me stays. This is not how I intended to bring the Obsidians into my fold. I wanted to use words, to come humbly, in sealskin, not armor, putting myself at the mercy of the Obsidians to show Alia that I valued her people's worth. I knew their judgment, and was willing to put myself in peril for them. I wanted to do as I preached, but even Ragnar knew that was a fool's errand. But now I don't have time for intransigence or superstition. If Alia will not follow me to war, I'll drag her to it, kicking, screaming, like Lord before her. For Obsidian to hear, I must speak in the only language they understand. Might. Sephi fires her pulse fist past my head at the doors leading to our mother's sanctuary. The ancient iron buckles, bent and twisted hinges screaming. We flow past an army of prostrate giants who clutter the cavernous halls to either side. So much strength made frail by superstition. Once, when they were stronger, they tried to cross the seas, built mighty canals to carry explorers across the oceans to seek out new lands. The carved monsters the gold sowed in the oceans destroyed each boat, or the golds themselves melted them from the sea. The last boat sailed more than 200 years ago. We come upon Alia as she sits in council with her famed 70 war chiefs. They turn to us now amidst large smoking braziers. Huge warriors with white hair to the waists, arms bare, iron buckles on waists, huge axes on backs, black eyes and rings studded with precious metals glitter in the low light. But they're too stunned by the sight of the 300-year-old iron doors suddenly glowing orange and melting away to speak or kneel. I draw up before them, still dragging the corpses of the golds behind me. Mustang and Sephi hurl their captured golds forward, kicking at their legs. They sprawl on the ground and stumble to their feet, attempting beyond all reason to maintain some dignity here, surrounded by giant savages in the smoky room. Are these gods? I roared from my helmet. No one answered. Alia moved slowly through the parting warlords. Am I a god? I snarled, this time removing my helmet. Mustang and Sephi remove theirs. Alia sees her daughter in the armor of her gods. She flinches back. Fear whispers over her lips. She stops near the 5 bound and gagged golds as they finally find their feet. They stand over 2 meters tall, but even bent and old as Alia is, she's a head taller than I. She stares down at the men and women who were once her gods, before looking up at her last daughter. Child, what have you done? Sephi says nothing, but the razor on her arm seems drawing the eyes of Helios. One of her greatest daughters carries the weapon of the gods. Queen of the Valkyrie, I say, as if we had never met. My name is Darrow of Lycos, blood brother of Ragnar Valaris. I am the warlord of the Rising, which rages against the false golden gods. You have all seen the fires that rage around the moon. Those are caused by my army. Beyond this land, in the abyss, a war rages between slaves and masters. I came here with the greatest son of the spires to bring the truth to your people. I waved to the golds, stare at me with the hatred of an entire race. They struck him down before he could tell you that you are slaves. The prophets he sent told it true. Your gods are false. Liar! Someone screams. A shaman with crooked knees and a bent spine. He babbles something else, but Seti cuts him off. Liar, Mustang hisses. I have stood upon Asgard. I have seen where your immortals sleep, where your immortals rot and eat and shit. She twists the pulse wrist in her hand. This is not magic. She activates her grav boots, floating in the air. The obsidians stare at her in wonder. This is not magic. This is a tool. Alia sees what I have done, what I have shown her daughter, and what I have now brought her people, whether she wants it or not. We're the same cruel kind. I told myself I would be better than this. I failed that promise. But noble vanity can shine another day. This is war, and victory is the only nobility. I think that is what Mustang was looking for here with Obsidians. She was more afraid that I would allow my own idealism let something loose that I could not control. But now she sees the compromise I'm willing to make, the strength I'm willing to exert. That's what she wants in an ally as much as she wants a builder, someone wise enough to adapt. Adalia, she sees how our people look at me, how they look at my blade, still stained with the blood of the gods, as though it were some holy relic. And she also knows I could have made her complicit in the gold's crime, could have accused her before her people, but instead I offer her a chance to pretend she is just learning this for the first time. Lamentably, my friend's mother does not take the offer. She steps towards Seti. I carried you, bathed you, nursed you, and this is my reward? Treason? Blasphemy? You are no Valkyrie. She looks at her people. These are lies. Free our gods from the usurpers. Kill blasphemers. Kill them all. But before the first war chief can even draw their blade, Seti steps forward, lifts the razor I gave her, and decapitates her mother. Alia's head falls to the floor, eyes still open. The woman's huge body remains standing. Slowly, it tips backward and thuds to the ground. Seti stands over the fallen queen and spits on the corpse. Turning back to her people, she speaks for the first time in 25 years. She knew. Her voice is deep and dangerous, hardly rising above the level of a whisper, yet it owns the room as surely as if she roared. Then, tall Seti turns away from the gods, walks back through the gaggle of war chiefs to the Griffin throne, where her mother's fabled war chest has sat unopened for 10 years. There, she bends and takes the lock in her hands and roars gutturally, like a beast, as she pulls at the rusted iron till her fingers bleed and the iron crumbles apart. She throws the old lock to the ground and rips open the chest, pulling free the old black scarab skin her mother used to conquer the White Coast, pulling free the red scale cloak of the dragon her mother slew in her youth, and hoisting high her great, black, double-headed axe of war called Throgmir. The rippling gleam of Durosteel catches in the light. She stalks back to the gold, dragging the axe on the ground behind her. She motions to Holiday, who removes the gags from the mouths of the gods. Sephi asks, her tone so different from her brother's, direct and cold as a winter storm. You will burn, mortal, the man says. If you do not release us, a seer will come from the sky and rain fire upon your land. This you know. We will wipe your seed from the worlds. We will melt the ice. We are the mighty. We are the peerless Scar. And this millennium belongs to... Sephi slays him there with one giant swing, cleaving him nearly in twain. Blood sprays my face, but I do not flee. I knew what would happen if I brought them here.